everybody, it is 2023. Can you believe it? I am shocked, and I just want to be able to share some reflections of introspections of things that I have learned about gardening. I'm out actually running errands today, so I am busy, but I just thought, you know what? I need to take this time to stop, pause, and think and share some information with you that I think that would be valuable. So since I am not in my own yard and in my own garden space or at home, I'm actually looking for a park where I'm going to plant my feet, take in the air, the self-care, relax, do some self-introspection and reflection, and share it with you. So as soon as I get a comfortable place where I can plant my feet, I am going to crack back on this camera and just start reflecting. So stay tuned. So here I am in this little parked area. I just found a little place where I can just pull over. Sorry if it's loud, but there's cars everywhere. I can't control that. When I look back on my journey and my life as a gardener, there were a lot of ups and there were a lot of downs. And that just comes with anything when you're learning a new skill. And gardening is definitely a skill that someone can learn. Number one, definitely want to share with you all is that you can learn how to garden. If you believe that you do not have the abilities, the skills, the knowledge to garden, you can learn. I did not know how to garden. I have never gardened in my life. And then just reflected on how it would be very important for me to start to learn how to garden. And you know what, maybe I just need to make a video one day just really explaining my journey as to how I got into gardening and why I started gardening. But it really just has to do with being able to take care of myself better, growing the foods that I'm eating. There are a lot of illnesses in my family that we've just encountered over the years, and it just caused me to make some different decisions in my life. And I just wanted to just improve the way that I was living. And so I thought about gardening. I just didn't know how to do it. I've never gardened. I did not have a green thumb. So I have learned that gardening is a skill that you can develop. It just takes some time and just constant, continuous learning, educating yourself to learn the skills that's needed for gardening. But if you're ever doubting and thinking that you cannot garden, please don't doubt yourself, because you can garden. It's just a skill that you need to learn. Every other gardener learned it, either from someone else or through their upbringing, or maybe from reading books or watching videos online. You can learn how to garden. And I'm going to be you're seeing these pictures that are just floating by in this video because I want you to see and reflect how this past year has been. 2022 in my gardening life, this journey this year. And we are approaching the 2023 year. And I'm just looking back, just reflecting on the growth that I've had. So number one, for sure, that you don't have to have a green thumb to garden. You can just learn the skill of gardening and you will learn how to do it. And you will learn how to do it very successfully. Another reflection, the second one I would say, is that you need to learn through these mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have failures. You're going to approach times when you feel like giving up in gardening. You're going to have that. But through these mistakes, you will become stronger. You will become better. You will be filled with more knowledge than what you had in the beginning. You need to continue to persevere through it, work through it, because the success comes through hard work. It comes through without giving up. It comes through pushing through. And that goes through many things in life. So don't give up. Work through the mistakes. Learn from them. See what you can improve to make the situation better and continue to learn through it. But you're going to make mistakes, but it's going to make you better. Another tip that I want to share is that with gardening, with that, just to piggyback on that example, is that your relationships in life and just understanding life will even become broadened, and your understanding it will become better. Relationships with people. You need to plant good seeds with people if you want to have a better relationship with people. You need to, if you plant good seeds, you're hopefully going to have good results with the relationships you have with other people. So it's just like in gardening. If you plant good seeds, if you take the time to either you're tilling the soil, or if you're not tilling the soil, but you're putting the good nutrients that the soil needs, the amendments that it needs, you're putting in some good natural organic materials into it and nutrients, and you're providing it with the oxygen and the soil structure that is needed, the beneficial microbes and nutrition that's needed for the garden, then you're going to have a very successful experience. But you just have to do it. And that is just the same thing that you need to do in relationships. So I learned a lot about relationships with my family, relationship with my child, relationship with my spouse, relationships with my coworkers, relationships with the people that I deal with in life just in general. Because when you think about it, we're all like plants, right? We have to fill our bodies with nutrients. We have to fill our bodies with soil. We need to go outside to get oxygen and to hydrate our bodies and our soul so that we are fulfilled as human beings, as people, so that we can give back and serve others. So gardening teaches many different life lessons that are beneficial for all of us. And so as you're thinking about gardening, think about the relationships and the people that you're coming in contact with and the impact that it's having upon them. Gardening is just not just planting seeds and that's it, but it's also enhancing your life as an individual so that it can be better and healthy, and so that in return, it positively affects others. So that is another great lesson that I learned this year as a gardener. Another thing that I learned is that self-care, oh my gosh, gardening is definitely self-care. So this year, I did not exercise like I normally do. I'm always exercising and running and jogging, lifting weights. But this year, since I've really gotten into gardening, I've spent a lot of my time outside lifting grow bags, gardening, lifting heavy things, tilling the soil, which requires just not necessarily tilling it, but mixing soil, because I don't till my soil. I just kind of mix up the top so I can mix in some of the organic matter into it. But it requires so much work. I have a little slope hill in my yard, so I'm going up and down the slope, up and down. So I'm working my legs. So gardening is definitely a wonderful form of self-care. It is exercising. It is relaxing the mind. You're getting vitamin D from being outside and breathing in good fresh air. You're getting sunshine. It uplifts your moods, your spirit, your mind. And so it is very, very good for your health to be able to get this natural environment in you, okay? Being outside in the garden. So it has done wonders for me this year, just reflecting on when I got sick with COVID and what I did to recuperate. You know, I spent a great deal of time outside in my garden. I could not go anywhere else but from my bedroom to that garden. And the garden is the place where I spent hours. I promise you. Y'all, I think I spent probably 8 hours sometimes just outside. And people were like, you need to go back inside because you need a rest, you need to sleep. I'm not saying that I did not sleep, but that's what my friends were telling me. But I found that I got stronger each day because I was intentionally spending time outside in the garden, getting oxygen, getting vitamin C. It was rejuvenating my body and making me feel much stronger, much quicker. So that is definitely something that I learned, that gardening self-care. In addition to the self-care, you're eating healthy foods, which puts the nutrition back into your body, so you start to feel better. Not everybody can just, eat vegetables all day and that's the only thing that you eat. I understand that some people are vegetarian, some are vegan, some are not vegetarian, some are pescatarian, some are not, some don't even want to eat vegetables. But just try to do what you can do. Be simple and just try something different, just to add to your plate of food, to just make it just a little bit healthier. Whatever that is for you, whatever that means for you, do the best that you can do to just add just a little bit more healthy foods into your daily routine of eating. So another last tidbit that I want to give to you that I learned is that you need to start simple. And this is something that I was hearing that buzz of just starting simple when I first started my gardening journey. And it's important that you do that because you don't want to overwhelm yourself and then think, oh, this gardening thing doesn't work out. It's such a failure. I didn't like it. I knew I shouldn't have tried it. No, you need to start simple. You need to start simple. And I will tell you why. Because if you start simple, then it will give you the time that you need to focus on the things that you are making mistakes at, that you can learn how to improve. You will learn the basic process of how gardening works. You will learn how to start from seeds, or maybe you might start from plants. You will see the growing process. You will see a few plants go from the beginning to the end, to harvest, to closing it up, putting your beds to sleep or your pots to sleep, whatever it is that you're growing in. And you will learn the process. And as you learn the process, then the next year, then add more to that. Okay, so when I first started gardening, my first year, 3 years ago, I started with one bed, and I think it was too big. First of all, it was maybe like 8 by 8 feet, 10 by 10. It was too big. It was too big, and it was horrible. And I should have just quit then. But my mind was like, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to figure out what I need to do. And so it was horrible. I did it wrong. I made so many mistakes, and nothing that I planted grew. Can I say that again? Nothing that I planted grew, except for what my neighbor gave me. My neighbor gave me some transplants of tomato plants that he had, and he gave that to me, and that's what grew. And I was like, wow, so maybe I need to try starting my seeds indoors. So there was just different things that I learned. And then the next year, that second year, I started reading books and watching videos and reading articles and learning really the importance of having a good, nutritious soil, having enough soil, how to plant and raise beds, how to water, and then my plants started growing. And then this year in 2022 is when I really just started to learn a lot more. And I have so much still more to learn, but I'm very passionate about this learning. So just remember to start simple. This is just a sprinkle of my journey with just some of the pictures and just short little clippings. And many of these you've seen in different videos that I've had, but I wanted you to see with your eyes, just see right there, just my journey, just from working through the garden enclosure. I was dealing with problems with animals trying to attack some of my plants and figuring out how to deal with that, and just a lot of other things, and a lot of foods that I started planting and foods that I loved eating, like turnips, and that was so tasty growing that for the first time, and growing potatoes and sweet yams, that you grow your own, tastes so good, and the Burgess buttercup squash, which is right now my favorite squash, has been so much fun to grow, and it tastes so good. So you'll see recipes for that. And then just a few little simple plates of food that I've just made and just captured a picture of it that I just want to share with you. But I wanted you to also just see, as I'm talking, just see some of the things that I've been doing this year through this journey in 2022.